This is a Meredith story, friends. Needs a lot of background to understand the players here, but this story is related by Yaakov Mordechai Rappaport. A whole long story. This family, he comes from a Chabad background, but he himself was not. Although his brothers were famous Chassidim in Russia. He lived in London, in the Gewaldige Talmud Chacham, and he moved to Yisrael, and it was many yechidus, and he tells this story on a flight from back to Yisrael, Gimel Tammuz, and one of the early Gimel Tammuz. He's telling this to the author of the story and to the fellows on the flight. He says like this is what you're going to hear now, is how the whole Likutei Sichos began. It's a story that needs more time. Going to be a cliffhanger. We'll start it today and finish it tomorrow, but it needs to be explained. So he tells the fellows like this. It's Wolf, the author, and Yoska Greenberg in Alaska, they're listening to this story. I'm just telling you what year it was. I tell them where it was on the flight that they see this fellow, Tavshin Ayin Zayin. They're going the Aeroflot through Moscow. So he says when he was 9 years old, this is in London. And again, it's a Chabad family. There's a Gutnik connection there. The mother was a Gutnik. So one day, Ben Shem Tov, this is the early 50s, mamish. I can tell you the exact year, but Shem Tov told a story yesterday about him. So he says to me, "Come, let's do afotze." So he takes me, I'm an 8-9-year-old kid, and we go to the Satmar Beis Medrash in London. Satmar. This is right after the war. To understand the context here, you need context, and we'll explain tomorrow, but here's the story. So he went into the shul, Satmar Beis Medrash, Rabbi Shem Tov walks directly up to the bimah, gives a bang on the table, doesn't ask permission, and starts to say a sicher of the Rebbe in front of everybody. After a few moments, he's talking. A few of the Mispalalim, the people daven there, approach him in a very nice way and escort him out of the shul. So he says, I was a little kid, I stayed in the shul, and I see what unfolds. The Rosh HaKol, the head of the community there, at that time in Satmar, in London, was a Jew by the name of Getzel Berger, very honorable person, a very wealthy person. He was the head of the community. And he said, the kid sees, the Getzel says to him, he says, wait to see what's going to happen. He said, this isn't over. A few moments go by, the window opens from the street, and the Ben Shem Tov opens the window and puts his head through, and he continues to say the Sikha where he left off. After they escorted it from the shul. So the Getzel approaches him. I'm just going to finish the story in the middle here. He says to him, this is, in those days, the context, this is right after the war, Baruch Hashem, then, the communities were united. Here in Montreal, everybody lived then. And on Park Avenue, that the communities were close, and etc. And things that did not fossilize like they did subsequently. And now, thank God, it's being reversed. And Baruch Hashem, tremendous unity and achdus in a very deep and wonderful ways happening across the board. But this is in those very early days. And so this was kind of cutesy. And there wasn't we just after Auschwitz, friends. So things were much softer then. So this Getzel Berger says to Ben Shem Tov, he said to Benjamin Sia, this is not to say that. You see that this is not the way that you're going to bring the Rebbe's teachings to the Torah world. Here's 20 pounds. Now, cliffhanger, and I'll tell you what he said to do with the 20 pounds. And it's an amazing story of how the whole Lakotei Sichos, the publication of the Rebbe's teachings, were born. You're hearing it now. I didn't know this. I read the story. Okay, to continue the story tomorrow, it's just incredible. So, friends, stay tuned. Have a wonderful day, everybody.